Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about leadership. And I know in the last video I talked a little bit about what it meant to me about being a big brother. And I think I wrote about this as well. But that was one of the things that impacted me the most in wanting to be a leader, because I was able to see how I could have an effect on her. And it was very obvious how she scrutinized my actions and how that influenced her actions. And from being the captain of the wrestling team, I experienced a lot of the same thing, the same scrutiny from other people, and how you can impact other people that way. And while that's stressful, it's stressful to always be watched and to feel like everything that you do is being looked at from other people, and it's going to affect what they do. It's also very rewarding because you know that your actions will have an impact on other people. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to apply to Harvard University, is because at the core of it all, my main goal in life really is to have an impact on other people in the world. That's why I wanted to go into research and wanted to go into the best research institution in the world, is because I want the work that I do to have an impact generations after I'm gone. I want to leave a mark on the world. And I think that's part of what's my innate motivation. And I think that's why leadership is so important to me, and why I am glad that I've had the opportunity to be a leader at a young age, because leadership is a very unique and powerful way to have an impact on other people. Part of why that is because of this is one of the mantras that I live by in terms of being a leader. It goes, you have to be far enough, the best leader has to be far enough away so that everybody can hear them, but be close enough to where you're still a part of them. And I think that's I like that, because it's true. If you get too far away from people, then they start to disassociate from you and you can't impact them as deeply. I think you have the deepest impact on the people that you're closest to, but you do have to have a somewhat elevated position so that they respect you enough to listen to you. And I think being captain is very unique in that how it allows me to do that, because I'm still one of the guys. I still go through all the practices, I go through all the pain that they go through, I'm one of them, but I also have this title and respect around me, partially because of the work that I've put in and the work ethic that they've witnessed, that they also have to listen to me, and the actions that I take influence everyone's actions. And that's why I've always said that being captain is not about gaining a title, it's not a coronation, it's an opportunity to lead. And that's what I've seen it as, and I'm very happy to have that opportunity. One of the examples in how I've influenced people through wrestling, I know I wrote about it a little bit in my essays, but another one is when there's this tradition of elitism on the wrestling team, like there was. And one of the ways that manifested was when we would all get water, and we'd have about 2 minutes to get water. We'd all be in a line, and because we have 2 minutes, the people at the end of the line a lot of times wouldn't get to have any. So even if it's first come, first serve, but what a lot of seniors did my freshman year and my sophomore year is they would just say seniority, and they would just cut to the front of the line. And I always didn't like that. I felt it was disrespectful and unfair. And so when that started happening again, when I became captain this year and last year, I made a point. I said in front of the whole team, I said, I don't believe in seniority, and I refused to do that, and I walked to the back of the line. And I encouraged the other varsity members and upperclassmen to do the same. And that's one of the policies of mine, one of my personal policies that stuck. Now all of the varsity guys go to the end of the line to make sure that everybody else is taken care of before them. And that was one of the things I learned from my dad, who was an Army officer. He said part of what being a leader is making sure that everybody's taken care of before yourself. And he said if that means when you're getting food, you make sure that everybody's fed before you, then that's what you do. And I saw that as a unique opportunity to really take his teachings to action. And part of the reason why leadership has affected me so directly is because of my experiences as a freshman, and how that's given me empathy to other people. Because when I was a freshman, I was 4'8" and 81 pounds. And I was so small that when we first went to the weight room, I could only bench the bar, and a lot of people made fun of me. I was the full 25 pounds lighter than the lowest weight class, and the seniors, every time that I would do the weights, they would shout "weak," and weak is one of my trigger words. And I remembered how that made me feel, and it drove me to, I went to every practice. I went to every morning practice, I went to every night practice. I was the first one in, the last one out. I ran the longest, I worked the hardest, and eventually I was able to become varsity, and I gained 40 pounds of muscle that first year. But I remember that even though that negative encouragement pushed me to be better, that was what made me more of a proponent of positive encouragement, because I didn't like how they made me feel. And I told myself that when I was captain, I was never going to be like that. So that's why when I'm captain this year, I made a note to not be like them. And there was this freshman named Ronnie Cornelius this year, and when he first came in, a lot of the other freshmen and some of the sophomores started calling him Cupcake, and I thought it was a nickname from middle school or something. I didn't really know him very well because it was the beginning of the year, but I soon realized that that was the equivalent of the seniors calling me weak my year. And so the next time I heard it, I made a point to tell everyone, I asked everyone, what is his name? And then somebody joked again, oh, his name's Cupcake. And I said, well, to me, his name's Ronnie Cornelius, and to everybody else, it should be the same. And from that point forward, nobody said the word cupcake in the wrestling room. And so I think leadership has allowed me to have an impact on people, because I had an impact on him, and I was happy to have an impact on him, and he told me that he was happy that somebody stood up for him. And it also allowed me to gain empathy, because if I was not in that leadership position, I wouldn't have been able to put the feelings that I felt my freshman year and allow that to have a positive impact on somebody later on. And it kind of rectified that for me. So that's what leadership means to me, and I'm happy that I've had that position. Alright, that should do it for this one.